this spiritual path have to be like that? Because it's going to push your buttons all the way to the wall until you let go. And in that experience of letting go, it's like I was saying in meditation about a flower opening. It's like we're trying like this so hard to do what's right. We're trying to control it. We can't help going for validation, going for being noticed by other people, worrying about what other people think of us. It's the same thing. Like I think the leaders of the choir all wanted us to be there. They told us they did. But some of the faces in the choir were pretty darn shocked. They rolled with it. They were supportive. But there's a little bit of that if you choose to focus in it, because we're all human beings. And but who do we answer to? We have to answer to that feeling in our heart. But also on the spiritual path, we do need to tune in or to answer to our leaders. Because if we didn't, we never would have sung that day. I never would have. There's no way. But when David, Evie, and Jeannie, Chance, and Swami are saying, we're thrilled about what you're doing, we're thrilled about the choir, we want you to be a part of this, we want you to learn the music, we want you to sing in everything that we do, you're always welcome to come. Then you have to go.
They were just polite.
They weren't just polite. They are polite people, but they're also sincere, because those same people but those same people, it's a good point though. Those same people, if there's adjustment that needs to happen, or if there's something that needs to be different, they'll be the first to tell us. Because we've opened ourselves to that, we've asked for it. That's a different topic, but that's discipleship. It's when you say, I want your guidance. I don't want to do it alone anymore. I realize that I need help. And the other thing that it does is it sort of like opens the channel. It's like God works through this chain of instruments. And there's this tendency in us mentally to say, I want God my way. Well, we can pray to God our way. We can relate to God our way. But at some point, we have to get, instead of just watching, at some point it becomes more intense. And it's actually the journey, like the lotus rising from the mud through the water, and then out through the surface of the water where it makes the flower and it's all pure and clean. At some point we want freedom. And when we want moksha, when we want liberation, that's when something like discipleship to a specific path is a blessing. Because we're not going to liberate ourselves from our egos by ourselves. We need sandpaper. We need friction. We need heat. It's like you're cooking something, put it on the flame. You got to cook it. And that's how it is. And so you get cooked in the choir. You get cooked here all the time. Hopefully it doesn't hurt too much. If it works, you become the essence that was released in that experience. You don't end up like a hard piece of jerky in the bottom of the pan. You become, but it depends on what you want to relate to. That hard jerky in the bottom of the pan, that is the ego that someday we're going to say bye to. And another way, and so this is just what I want to just leave with. It's very simple. It's no big deal. But like I've said recently to our yoga teachers here, and other people too, is think of those three gunas. Sattva guna, raja guna, tama guna. So tamasic or tama guna is darkening to your consciousness. Rajasic is active, and it could be active in a good way. But you don't know unless you're clear about the direction that you're moving. So if you're having an active, whether it's internal or external, an active experience or well, I'll give you an example in a moment. And then finally, sattva guna is not the end of the path, but it's a good place to be. It's a good direction, I think, for most of us to go. To be completely sattvic, to always be in a sweet place, in our consciousness, to always be generous and kind. And, you know, I can't help it, but the example that comes to me is Swami Kriyananda, who is the most sattvic person I've ever known. And maybe beyond that. But there's a science now where there are people that are examining, and they've been doing this for years, the very subtle rhythms of the heartbeat. And what they've noticed is that there's this unbreakable bond between the way your heart beats and your state of consciousness. But it's not just in the gross stuff, it's even the very, very subtle, very subtle. And so now there are tools like biofeedback things that you can clip on your ear, you can put on your finger, anywhere where you can get a pulse. And you'll rate your level of awareness, or it'll rate your level of being, your inner peace, your sense of freedom. But peace is passive. This thing, the one I'm thinking of, is sensitive enough that it goes way beyond the feeling of peace. It actually, to get to the highest level on that thing, it's like a video game. It's got to be a deep, expansive feeling of calmness. And to hold that is not easy for most people. And they're all different levels on this little machine. And so one day, here I am, I'm in the doctor's office, Dr. Moore. And he's like, hey, you're a meditator, right? And I just met him. I didn't know really anything about this guy. And he just wanted to do it to see. And so he puts this biofeedback thing on me, and he says, what is it? And he tells me it'll tell by a tone or by a light where you are. And so, the goal is to get to the green light. Okay, so there's Rajaguna. I'm sitting there, and he's got the thing on my ear, and I'm thinking, because I want this guy to like me, because I want him to send us meditation students. I'm just being greedy, And so I'm like, okay, I got to pass this test. So he puts this thing on me, and it goes to the red, and I'm all like, chill out. I breathed a little bit, and then it went into the blue, but I wasn't getting to the green. I practiced home saw, closed my eyes, and so I'm using all my toolkit, and I'm starting to get a little desperate, and it wouldn't go to the green. I mean, this is all happening in a matter of probably a minute or less, but I'm ego activated. I wanted to beat this thing. So I'm sitting there, and I closed my eyes, and I'm doing a meditation technique. I'm like, well, this could take me 20 minutes to get where I need to be. And then I thought, here's the spiritual test. Why is this important to me? This doesn't matter. All that matters is that I love my guru, and my guru loves me. And I saw his face, and I forgot about the test. Because I thought I was just being broiled. You know what I mean? And I was like, forget it. Forget it, it's not important. And I saw my guru, bing, and it went to the green, and it just stayed there. And then I could open my eyes, and as long as I thought of my guru, Paramhansa Yogananda, it just stayed in the green. I could walk around. But so here's the secret, that what I learned that day, it's feeling love, in my opinion, from my own personal experience, that will free us from everything else that makes us suffer. It's just that simple. Like when we're doing the choir, just feeling love and gratitude. Just do that. Do that no matter what happens. And you're in a very, very good place.
Feeling love from others toward us, or from ourselves toward ourselves?
Good point. I mean, feel love moving through you and out into the people or the world, the situation. I don't mean feel love coming back.
Not from somebody else.
Feel love and gratitude toward them. this spiritual path have to be like that? Because it's going to push your buttons.